I did take some still pictures of the White Mansion, but I decided to actually do a video so that I could point out some of the details that I've done to the house. And we're going to start with the newest part, the lowest level, servants area. Got a kitchen behind there. We're going to go here to the attached garage. I had a lot of fun with the making of these doors and the detail in these. And behind them are a couple of early 1900s cars, starting with this red one, which is my own design. It's taken a while to get this. You know, it looks really simple, but it's quite difficult to try to make this look the way a early 1900s car would. And these things, cars from then were big. I don't know if you ever stood next to one of them, but they were big. They're big. And then this one has been a little easier. Not my own creation. It's from a Lego set about 10 years ago. But it works very well with the time that I'm trying to represent here. I'll put these back in the garage. Go ahead and close these doors up. But more into the garage, we've got us what I have fun with, trying to keep it, you know, of the time. A little tool bench, more tools, got us some chains, a dolly, a man door that leads from the garage into the kitchen, which will come over here. The kitchen, what I've done with this house, the Red Mansion, you couldn't see in it. And that was started 20 years ago, well before YouTube was around. And so I didn't really have a reason to look in the home. Of course, now we do. So I've decided, rather than leaving the roof open, because I'm still running lights through these houses, and I run them through the floorboards, which this is the ceiling to this kitchen, that I'm going to go ahead and just make removable walls. We'll start here in this kitchen with looking at the radiator. Early 1900s, a few ways to heat your house up. One of them was a radiator, ran by warm steam. And we're going to go ahead and look in the pantry here. And they didn't have refrigerators. They had ice boxes. So we've got some ice in there with some milk. Back in the day, you'd have your ice shipped in from a frozen lake, and that is how you kept your things cool. We got our servants here in the kitchen, preparing a meal. We got a young lady here washing some fruit. We've got one here that is rolling some dough. She's already made some bread. She's cut some cheese. And we got more milk there. We've got another lady here that's cooking a turkey. I've tried to keep everybody very simple, dressed the way they would have been then. We've got a meal that's being prepared. My interpretation of an over easy egg there. And here's more of the kitchen with some of the glassware that you would have to hold some of your cooking supplies. Simple cabinets. We got our fireplace that they would have used down here. There's the other side of the door. The servants did not eat with the residents of the home, so they would have their own dining room, and this is theirs to eat at. We have the door to the boiler room. The house was heated by a boiler, or it is. There is the servant staircase. There is a little hallway with a closet at the end. And here's the door into that hallway. This is the door that the servants would have used to bring in the groceries, actually bring any of the local market stuff in. The ceiling, this is the ceiling. I've removed it so we could see in, but this is actually a big beam that is to run from there to there, lands there and there. It goes across the room, and then it's going to support beams that go this way, which is, this is the beginning of it. I've got lights already running through it, and that rests like that. Here is the other side of the servant staircase coming. Once this is done, you got the ceiling done. The idea is to put the dining room above that because it's right above the kitchen. Moving along the house, these pieces, this is not finished yet, so we'll just move to the areas that are. We've got a bathroom, one of many that I'm going to put in the house because, well, they got some neat ideas nowadays. And back when the original Red Mansion was built, they didn't have a lot of stuff like they do now. Well, the idea, I guess, of it. But the door is a hinged door to the bathroom. And I point that out because the other doors in the home, many of them are pocket doors, which were popular back then. But again, because we're going to have a ceiling, we go ahead and remove the wall and we can look inside here once we have a nice ceiling on there. A mini radiator for a mini room. Oh, here's the other side of this wall. I did put a spool of toilet paper. Figured you still needed that in the early 1900s. But once the wall's on there, it lines up pretty well. On to the ballroom, which is been one of my favorite rooms to do. Again, in keeping with making sure we can see once there's a ceiling in the house, because the idea of this room is going to have some nice big chandeliers and a really nice ceiling. We can take the windows out so that we can see in here. But we'll start with, again, the radiators. They're a little fancier in this room. We've got black with brass. There's 3 of them. One for each window. My kids and I had a lot of fun making these people. You got to keep them period, early 1900s. So their hair was a certain way, they dressed a certain way. The ladies wore white gloves, or in some cases she's wearing black gloves. These 2 are dancing. Another couple dancing here. Then you've got these 3, and they're just socializing with each other, him and his big mustache. And oh, well, let's go back to him. He back there looks like a serious man. We'll take a look at these ladies here. Then we've got the orchestra. And I had a lot of fun with this orchestra. It started out with my kids play music, and I started out making a cello. But if you look at that, cellos aren't that big. So I ended up saying that's going to be a bass, because it's a little bigger than the minifigure, which cellos are big. Basses are big. But these guys, try to make them, period, as far as how they look. Being happy, unless you're blowing into a saxophone. We got our piano guy, and he's happy as well. We are missing some music notes here for our music stand, which is for our 3 standing here. We do have our music notes for the piano. I just got to get them for that one. But the piano is a bit of my own creation, as well as looking at what fellow YouTubers have done. The size needed to be right for the room so that it wasn't too big and wasn't too small. The floor, I've done some detailing in the floors. Each corner has some detail. We've got our waiter there waiting to get anybody's drink. Our wall sconces that are throughout the room. And let's come over here and take a look at these pocket doors that I was talking about. The walls are thicker, so we can just slide these doors into the walls, and they work like that. It's really nice. That's another pocket door there. Let's take a look at our fireplace. Lego has come out with these little mini figures. So I added that and changed the mantle a little bit. Still in keeping with the time. The home, we've got this over here is what I call the garden area, because we're going to have a big hill that comes over. The hill will obviously hide these, what I call filler bricks. I don't want to use the nice white ones, so that'll all be hidden. Come up over here, we can look down the hallway. Another radiator. Some stained glass, or what I am trying to show here is some stained glass, which was very big then, especially on the bigger houses. You got your doors with your glass door handles. Outside in the hall, we've got the more wall sconces. And then we can come here to the library, which was shown in the first video, but again, how are we going to see in here? We can go ahead and slide that out. And once the ceiling is in with its chandeliers, it'll have a different look. It will be lit up from the inside. Our radiators. One of my favorite fireplaces so far in the house is this one. Turned out really well. All the fireplaces are going to be lit up on the inside with orange. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. We can see through here into the ballroom. Everybody having fun. But there's also a light switch there. In the early 1900s they had push-button light switches. Not the toggle kind we have now. More of a library. The clock. This clock will be lit from behind, which is why the bricks are a clear green. That'll hopefully look really nice. Looking through here, you can see it. I'm not sure. I think I'll put a couple of gentlemen in here. Maybe smoking a cigar, getting away from the crowd. But other than that, I mean, there's still some work that needs to be done to the room. But back to the front of the home. There's our entrance. We're going to come over here to the drawing room, which is a ladies' room. We're not going to put any people in here, though. We're just going to leave it closed off. The window removes so that you can take a better look in here. It is a ladies' room, so I tried to make it as feminine as possible. You got some of the detail here along the inside of the window. White radiator versus any of the masculine colors. White sofas, or a white sofa and a white chair. We've got a lamp that I really tried to keep as period as possible. That turned out really well. I like lamp shade. Blue vase, pink flowers, and the table. Again, if you notice some of the detailing on the door or around the doors. Again, we've got pocket doors for this room as well. Another light switch. Taking a look from above, here is a painting. I'm not sure if it's, right for the time, but that wall looked really bare, so I decided to add that. More wall sconces. Wall sconces were really big in the early 1900s. And a little rose. In our entryway, got some flower pots that we need to add some flowers. But let's come back to this entryway. Got another radiator. I'm going to change this wall up here and add something there. It looks a little plain, but you see the little white Lego there? That's where the other radiator is going to go, so that we'll have a matching entryway once we are able to continue this side of the home. Big flower vases. They don't look that big, but they're appropriate for the time. Here we're still this lady from down here, and she was washing the vegetables and the fruit. So we'll put her there and see the size of the flower pots, but that's about appropriate. Let's look at the hallway. It's a big hallway. I'm going to add some more things to it. We've got some figures there. But it's kind of a bland hallway, more sconces. But let's take a look actually down here at this coal room. And I'm going to need to pause and get the plug. Alright, now we have our lights plugged in. You can kind of see a little bit of what the underside will look like as far as the kitchen. And this is a very simple ceiling for the kitchen because it is the servants' quarters, so we're not going to have really fancy ceilings. But this is the boiler room. We've got a separate door here for the boiler room because you would bring in your coal, and that's messy. Don't want it going through your house. So we do have a little porch light out here. This side of the home, which was shown in a still picture, we still have our light that's above the door. But back to this boiler room, you bring your coal around the side, bring it in the door, and then you take it inside the boiler room. Another easy access wall, and we can take a look at our boiler. So there's the boiler, there's the flames. I've got them lit up in there. All the different pipes carrying the steam. And there's our young man shoveling in the coal into the boiler. There's our pressure gauges. And there's the one light that lights up the room. And then the light that is underneath the staircase as well. Floor drain. But that's it for now. This is an overview of the house and how it's coming along. No yard yet. We got to get a lot more done with the house. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you.